I love this track. The slow jams. What's up, guys? Happy Friday. Sincerely hope everybody's doing all right out there. Lots of stuff happening this week. So we're going to bring some positivity today. We're going to talk about some gear. We're going to talk about studio overhauls. We're going to talk about... We're going to do some unboxing. I'm going to walk you guys through why I am doing what I'm doing. Show you guys why the choices that I made. What up, Ninja? How you doing, man? I found some new music. The lo-fi chill beats weren't cutting it anymore. Harris is supposed to be coming out with some upbeat stuff within the next month. So I had to go find some new stuff that had a little groove to it. I'm digging it though. Let's see. Let's do some housekeeping real quick. Make sure you're in the Discord, link in the chat right there. !Discord if you need a link for it. You can also find kits for all of the gear that I recommend by !Kit or kit.co/Nick Howell. We're going to go over... I've got to build some kits for some of the stuff that we're going to go over today. We might do that on the stream if we've got time. Just build some new kits. Show you guys how to use kit.co if you haven't used that yet. The other thing is there is the unboxing and the stuff that we're going to do today is part of version 2.0 of the studio here. And I want to get to a point where I've got a camera that I can sort of walk around with here in the studio. And I've found some ways that I might be able to do that with Bluetooth, wireless connectivity, so that I can still send it out through OBS and still have sort of a mobile camera here in the studio, but it's not here yet. Next week. So we'll do that on one of the streams next week where we talk about that. But the bigger studio overhaul is, a lot of you are aware that I have sort of 3 sets here in the studio, and I've been wanting to be able to show that to you guys on stream. So we've got the green screen right over there with my Nikon D7100 that I shoot videos with from time to time. We've got this set here that I've shot most of my videos so far for YouTube. And then right in front of me right there, or behind the camera that you guys are looking at, is a big 6-foot whiteboard. So it's sort of, when I did version 1 of this, it was my dream to eventually build it out like this. What I didn't budget for, what I didn't account for, what I didn't set up was the audio video gear to accommodate that. So the unboxing today is a lot of the stuff that we're going to do to facilitate the beginning of facilitating that. All of it's not here yet. We will get there. Throw in Discord on your MacBook Pro. Yeah, man. Come on in, Vic. How you doing, brother? Out in Red... Are you in Rancho Cucamonga? I just love saying that. Let's see. Who else we got in chat today? Say hi, guys. The other part of this that I haven't talked about yet is the DatacenterDude's data center. Oh, Upland. That's right. What's up, Steven? Good to see you, man. The DatacenterDude's data center. Right now, it's a full... Because I just moved in December, and then I had shoulder surgery a couple of months after, I haven't been able to do anything with it. So right now, I have basically a 4-foot folding table stuck in a closet that's wide enough to have, like, French doors. And everything's just sitting on the table. There's cables everywhere. There's a printer sitting on the floor next to a shredder. There's a Ryzen 9 processor sitting in there just doing nothing. Like, it's kind of just my dumping ground, but it's got all of my network gear, my core switch, my 10 gig switch, sort of top of rack, you could say. There's 2 8-bay Synologies in there, and I had no UPS for any of that stuff. And we've been having some brownouts here in in Raleigh, of all places, like where it will just flash and everything just gets cut. And it's horrible for all the gears. So what I have done is bought a couple of wall mount racks, 22 U's worth of rack. And the end game is to get that table out of that closet and get everything nicely racked and cabled inside of there, right? And have the floor space so that I can go in there and work. I want to set up a camera over there for future streams. The racks are supposed to be here today. Unfortunately, they're not here. I was hoping to start working on it today. It's one of the reasons we didn't do a stream on Wednesday, is because I was saving all of this for today. Jason, what's up, man? It's good to see you, brother. I was hoping to have all of this here today so that we could do it, but a good chunk of it is here, so we're going to spend time doing a little unboxing, a little bit of going over some of the stuff that has arrived, and then next week, I have to figure out how to stream without taking my internet down, because all of my network gear is in there. So over this weekend, I'm going to probably relocate my router to the switch that's in the patch panel inside the laundry room where my modem is for the gigabit, and have it there so that the stream won't go down while I'm tearing that network apart and recabling everything so that we can stream it. You guys can watch. We'll have some music jamming. I'll have the drill out, drilling big carrier bolts into the studs. It'll be a good time. So I'm really looking forward to that one. But it's going to require some setup for sure. Let's see what else. I think that's it. All right, so thanks for the stream, guys. We'll see you. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Hang tight. I got to grab some pieces that are right here on the floor, and we'll get to the unboxing. I got to move all of my keyboard and stuff out of the way. All right, yeah, and I'm intentionally using full screen today so you guys can see without that silly blank in there. All right, hang tight. Right back. Oh. All right. So, I actually looked into a solution for attaching rails, modifying the case of the Synology NAS and attaching rails to it so I could rack mount it. I wasn't able to find anything. I haven't given up on that because I think it could be really cool if we could do like a modification project where I could either like tack or TIG weld rack rails onto the chassis of the Synology. I know they make rack mount versions of them to use, but they're thousands and thousands of dollars. But I was thinking about breaking out the TIG welder and making my own. So let's unbox some stuff. In the meantime, what we're going to do is no good data center rack is complete without some of these. Yes. All right, let me get this box out of here. Ugh, that's a big box. Yeah. Oh, don't want to lose the hardware. How's the music level for you guys? Is it good? So no data center rack is complete without some shelves. So I love StarTech. These are from StarTech.com. They make really solid stuff. I believe this can hold about, I think it's rated at 1,000 pounds. You could put a full server, you can literally slide a server into that. And then rack it to that if you want the extra support. They also make ones for full racks that have rail screws for the back. So you can literally slide anything in there. Let's say you have an older server, pizza box or something that doesn't have rails, or you can't find the rails. Go to StarTech.com and grab one of these. You can get the vented one, or you can get the non-vented ones. I'm doing this. These are going to house the Synologies. So I've got 2 of these, and the 2 8-bay Synology NAS are going to sit on these guys. Great price on these on Amazon or StarTech.com if you want to check them out. So really amped about those. The rack, I wish I could show you guys to sort of set the foundation of this whole thing, is a Trip Light adjustable rack. And the reason I went with this one is because you can adjust it and tighten it. It does have the very large gauge mounting holes, 16 inches apart for studs. They're built for closets and things like that for small businesses and whatnot. It was about $105 for the rack. It's expandable from 8U all the way up to 22U. So 22 rack units you can get in that. I got one to start with, but I'm looking at having a pair of them and sort of doing symmetry in the closet. I wish I could show you guys. I might post a picture in the Discord later so you guys can see the current state. And it's abysmal. It's awful. I own that. I admit it. But this is the whole point of kind of doing this, is I needed to get my house in order before we really turn this into a content creation powerhouse. So getting all of that in order first is one of my top priorities. I've got the whiteboard. I've got the green screen. I've got the nice camera. I've got the shotgun mic. We're ready to create some content. But I can't look at that anymore. I can't walk in here and that be the first thing I see anymore. I've been building data centers too goddamn long and doing too much cable management to walk into my own house and my own studio and look at that shit anymore. So, damn it, we're fixing it. Check the, what'd you say? Check the bunker you posted in Discord. I want to build one of those as a content den. All right, yeah, I'll check it out. Okay, next thing. On to the next. So this next piece it's nothing special really, but it's important because I want to, I think it's important to share what I use, like all the stuff that you guys don't see behind the scenes. I was initially skeptical, and I think it was valid, 3 years ago, of Neewer as a company for AV gear. Basically, tripods, monopods, lights, and things like that. Their quality game has gone up leaps and bounds in the last couple of years. They were, most times people would look at Manfrotto. I've got a giant Manfrotto bag down there for my cameras and everything. It's $250, but it's the Mercedes of cameras, right? Any professional photographer worth their salt has something with a Manfrotto label on it in their kit, right? So I was always that Manfrotto guy. And then I tried out a piece of Neewer kit once, and it was terrible. And I tried one earlier this year in January, and it's absolutely magnificent. I got a tripod, 70 inches height, max height, which is awesome, right? And so I decided to get another one. This one, a little bit more versatile. With the number of cameras and things like that I'm going to be supporting in the office here, I needed another good-sized tripod. So the cool thing is they come with a carrying case. If you've got a decent Manfrotto bag, they look like hiking backpacks. And they've got straps where you can strap your tripods to them, one on each side, right? So I've got the bag, and now so I can take this and just lash it to the side of my Manfrotto backpack if I'm ever doing a sort of excursion thing. But they got nice zipper bags that they come in. Oh, it's in plastic too. That's cool. Let's break it out of there. All right. Make sure I get this out of the way. So the first one that I got was solid black. And, oh, this is really nice. Yeah, this is kind of exactly what I wanted. So nice big clasps for my big meat hooks. Right? Not those little tiny little things that I'll break a fingernail on, but like I can grip it and snap them open like that. The action is smooth. They got oscillating feet. This is kind of exactly what I was hoping it would be. It's got nice foam grips. Wow, this is really nice. Oh, and it's got a hanging hook. I guess that's what I don't know what the hook is for. You guys see that? That's interesting. This is a heavy duty tripod, you guys. The cam that's in here to lock down the monopod is fantastic. Oh, wow. It's also got a handle for monopod operation. Look at that. I don't know. I'm trying to make sure you guys can see that. There's a handle here with a little thumb grip, and you can lock that into place, and you can... So if you close it up, the handle sticks out, and then you can monopod it. I think it even comes apart. One of the reasons I got this one is because it looked like it came apart. Let me get this thing out. So you've got a good handle for your camera. Quick quarter 20 on the top. Is that a quick release? Yes, it is. So you can leave that on the camera if you want to. You can also buy extras of these. So if you've got multiple shooters, multiple cameras, you can just leave them on the camera. The hook is to hold a weight to stabilize. Ah, thank you. I've never been in that situation. This was about, I think it was $120. But this was the big boy, bad boy tripod that I've been needing for a long time. The other newer one that I have is also decent. It also goes very high, but it pales in comparison in size and scale to this guy. It's got levels. It's got a level right there. And there's usually one on the... No? Not on that one. Okay. Really nice. So, you guys said the hook is for hanging a weight on. I've seen them do sandbags on the feet. I've never seen them hang weights. That's very interesting. Makes all the sense in the world, too. So, yeah. Really nice. Really happy about this. I can't wait to use it. I'm going to give it a shot with one of the next things we're going to open up. All right, so user manual. One-year warranty comes with as well. Fantastic. So, yeah, bottom line, I've kind of become a big fan of Neewer. One of the other things that's coming is one of their big 18-inch ring lights for I need a key light for my videos. I've got the big soft boxes to properly light the green screen, but I needed something to light me as well because they can't be dual purpose. Otherwise, you're going to cast shadows on the green screen, and it messes with your chroma key in post. So, yep. All right, on to the next. Where'd that stupid thing go? Now, I have 2 of these guys already, and my bias is going to show for my old data center days a little bit here when I open this and I talk to you guys about it. Everybody has their fandoms. Everybody has their kit, their brands that they like. I talked to you about StarTech already. They make really great rack mount options, add-ons, and things like that. Well, get this open here. Another one of the companies that I really geek out for, because I am a mechanical engineer, because I did have a small minor on electrical engineering, and a lot of the work that I did in my early days of my career before I got into networking and Ethernet was power. My foundation of my whole career started with mechanical engineering and power generation and distribution. So I went to the Merchant Marine Academy where we studied marine engineering, basically, which is big diesels, auxiliary motors, turbine generators, and things like that, right? So it made a lot of sense for me when I decided not to go live my life at sea to get into building structures and developing power systems for them, or just being an installer. Basically, early in my career, I was an installer. But power was something that I was always fascinated with. There's a certain risk and adrenaline rush when you're dealing with 48-volt DC. Neg 48 is what we used to call it. And the contracts that I would do, I'd have to sign waivers. And close this box back up. And we'd have to wear the big leather gloves. I actually had one that covered my chest and over my shoulders, and it had a strap that clipped in the back, and I slid my arms into it like sleeves, kind of like you were going into one of those things, and somebody would just reach behind me and snap it for me, and then I was completely protected. But that was for big stuff. That was for when you're doing pulls from the generator boxes into the larger PDUs. You're usually pulling a big bundle, right? And those are going to be carrying megawatts of power. And so you need to pull those in. You need to fashion them down, fashion them down to the big PDUs before they ever go to the power strips that are in the cages and inside of racks. So, power. I like power, right? I'm a power guy. Some guys are Ethernet guys. Some guys are rack guys. I'm a power guy. So I have always been a rabid. Some people like Chevy. Some people like Ford. Some people like BMW and Mercedes. I like Trip Light. I'm a Trip Light guy. Trip Light is my jam. And hi, call me Trip Light. I'd love for you guys to sponsor me. I love their stuff. It is the best value between quality, price, and power delivery, safe power delivery, construction of components and things like that. It is for decades. They were some of the first ones that I was introduced to early on. So my job used to be taking units like this and terminating the cables and running lengths of cables, just bulk cable like this that would be in 1,000-foot spools. Not sure you've seen them over this side of the pond. Are they not in the UK? Trip Light is tried and true. So this is what's known as a power strip. You might see this sometimes in data centers. They also make vertical ones that snap in or screw into the insides of cages inside of racks inside the data center. Normally they're 12 port, 12 plug. This is also a 12 plug. It's rack mountable. It's got a built-in 15 amp circuit breaker. Never run more than 50% power to each side of your rack. Because if one trips, the other one's your redundant, and if you've got 50-50 even, and let's say you're running 8 to 10 amps on one side and 8 to 10 amps on the other side, and one of the breakers trips, all of that load flips over to a 15 amp breaker, your whole rack goes down. So one of the best practices of power that I had to teach more than a handful of people was how to properly distribute your power, and how to split your power supplies between the two. All of that's just like 101 data center stuff. You'd be amazed how much you still see stuff done incorrectly, even today, in data centers. The good news is nobody's really building data centers anymore, except Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. Maybe throw an Oracle, maybe throw an Alibaba in there, and maybe throw a Fortune 100 in there. They're doing it. But that's about it. Brings back memories of power. Yeah, man. That was my bread and butter. Like, on a contract job when you're building a data center, you would bring in a couple of power guys. You would bring in a couple of guys to run and bundle large Ethernet runs down to the drops to the racks from the telco rack. This was all stuff that got done before the raised floors went in. So it's if you were a server admin or a data center admin or anything like that, you likely never saw an empty floor like I did before the raised floors went in, before the cages went up, before the racks went in. Most of my time in data centers before I ran one myself as an admin and engineer was spent where there was no raised floor. There's an ant crawling on my light. Hey, come here. Dead ant, dead ant, dead ant, dead ant. Why is there an ant crawling on my light? That's weird. That was ballsy. He went all the way up the pole. Wow. So yeah, trip light. These will run you. I wanted to pull up some of this so I could tell you guys prices and why to do it. I've already got 2 of these. If you guys have seen my desk before, I have a lot of audio gear that is in I have 2 little half racks that are in my studio console here. And I've got 2 of them already. This also, the thing that most people don't put 2 and 2 together about with this, when you're using UPSs, when you have a ton of stuff that needs power, you plug it all into that, and you plug that one plug into your UPS. Most UPSs are only going to have 2, maybe 4 plugs if you're lucky to plug things into. You need one of these with a breaker. Don't be a cheapskate. Get one with a breaker. So it'll save your gear and not fry it in the event of a surge, okay? That's the point of getting one with the breaker. But please do that. And the beauty of this, let me get to my orders here so I can tell you guys. Let me pull it up. Right now, it is on a massive sale. They're normally $150, but I got it for $89. Let me give you guys a link. Hang on one second. Only the most extreme of you are going to need stuff like this, but there's a link for you if you want to check it out. Throw it on a wish list, something like that. But massive 40% off right now on Amazon. But you can see all the details. Get the long cord one, the 15-foot cord. You're going to need it to wrap and run all the way down your rack, right? It gives you all kinds of options with cable management. And if you want to, you can always take a pair of wire cutters, snip that, buy a blank, and re-terminate it at the length you want to. So I always like having more. I can always re-terminate it if I need to. It's very easy to do. This is 3 little wires. If you've never done one of these before, they're very easy to do. It'll take you 2 minutes. It's not like trying to do a Cat 5 plug or anything like that. Because Raleigh, that's why. Totally, yeah. Oh, we find... So, Ninja, it's not as bad as you're making it out to be, but you're not right. I know ants. I grew up in the Carolinas. You find a random one every now and then. We find there's fire ants all in the backyard. Some of the IRL stream ideas that I've had in the past was me going out there and showing you guys how to properly deal with a fire ant hill, tiny or big, and some of the strategies that I use. But basically, it involves a lot of buckets of 5-gallon buckets of water, and just pouring and pouring and pouring, and basically you drown them out with some poison. Trip light. If you need power and surge protection with a breaker, it also gives me a live digital readout of the amps that I'm pulling. So right now, on my streaming rig and everything, I'm only pulling 2 amps. Everything that's on this desk is plugged into one of these 2. The one on the right says 0. There's no computer running on it. I think it's just a monitor and maybe some little auxiliary stuff. It's not even pulling a full amp. And all of my audio gear, what happened to the music? Yes, I'm still watching. There we go. YouTube playlist does that. So with everything running, 3 monitors, a giant interface, a big, huge rig, less than 3 amps. But when I go over there and plug those 2 Synologies in, 2 switches, a router, a mobile cell, what do they call those? 4G LTE hotspot kind of thing. That's going to light one of these up. So Trip Light. Very, very, very well worth the $90 that it is right now. This thing will last you the rest of your life. I'm not kidding. They don't go bad. And the breakers, you can replace the breakers in them right here in the back. They've got little fuses. So, can't go wrong with Trip Light. On to the next. Now it's time for the fun stuff. Okay. Enough data center. You're thinking of switching to the SM7B. You have the Rode Procaster right now. You're not going to notice that much difference. I've used both. And understand that the SM7B is not just the price of the microphone itself. If you don't already have a decent interface, you're going to need that. You're going to need a cloud lifter. You're going to need extra cables. You're going to need some software. You're going to drop, including the price of the mic, you're going to drop about $1,000 getting a SM7B to sound proper, to be good. And I don't want to do that to discourage you. I'm saying that to warn you. Too many people, you have the cloud lifter and which Focusrite do you have? Tim, there's that last Amazon link that I put in chat right there is the link to it. You have the Solo? Okay. So understand that the Solo is a little bit different. It doesn't have the same mic pre's as the Claret and Scarlet lines do. So you're looking for something at minimum a 2i2. And I would recommend personally a Claret 4 pre. That's where you're going to get into those really high-end gold-plated mic pre's that are going to give you that rich sound and low end that you guys are hearing right now. When I drop down, you can hear my voice, right? This thing is power hungry. Also, you need a good enough interface that can deliver a constant 48-volt phantom power. I believe the Solos can for the cloud lifter, right? And that cloud lifter will work with any mic, to be clear. You want to sound like, oh yeah, Barry White, Isaac Hayes. So, let me go back to my orders here. I also found these on a deal for 10% off. Let me throw a link in the chat for you guys again. Uh, 256 gig Ultra SanDisk SD cards. They're UHSI, which is really, really good stuff. Right? They're on sale right now for $40. Grab one each of these for each of your cameras, and you'll probably never need another card ever again. I could shoot days of 1080p footage. The reason I got larger cards is because I'm entertaining the idea of shooting some 4K stuff. Nick, why would you ever do 4K? Go back to 1996. Why would we ever need HD, right? Can you imagine life without HD right now? I do, because I go watch old throwback wrestling stuff all the time. And I have to experience that firsthand. All right. Time for the piece de resistance. Well, kind of. For now. I finally found one. This is the Canon EOS M50, which is, funny enough, an old model. It's 2 years old. It's not even the latest model. But it is part of the EOS lineup. So if you've heard of the EOS R5, or I can't remember if they're 5D or R something like that. They've got so many different model numbers. Let me get this guy out of the plastic. There's a couple of reasons I got this guy. And we're going to go over those right here. Because not a day goes by without somebody seeing my YouTube video or seeing me on stream here asking me, hey, what camera do you use? I'm like, which one? I am Steven. We'll talk about that. One sec. I gotta grab one more thing. Oh, man, it's so good to have great Powerade again. Oh. Powerade Zero, I should say. All right, I wanted to have some visual aids for this discussion. Actually, let me grab couple more. Can I reach all the way over there? No. All right, let's talk cameras. I wish I could tilt my camera down. So, funny enough, the first thing I wanted to talk about was, and I think I've teased this to some of you guys, I'm going to get a second one of these. This camera is the Sony Vixia HRF 800. It is a video camera. It's a handy cam. It's about that big. It fits in the palm of your hand. It's only $200. It does everything you need and nothing you don't. It doesn't shoot 4K. You don't need to stream 4K. You don't need to be on 4K in your Zoom meetings. But I wanted something that was better than a 30 frame per second C920 or whatever terrible laptop camera I was going to have. So I had 3 bullet points, 3 things I needed to solve for. right? I needed 1080p. I needed 60 frames per second to give me that nice motion look for live streams and meetings and things. And I needed clean HDMI output. You'd be surprised most cameras don't have that, including Big Bertha here. All right, we'll talk about her in just a minute. So the Canon Vixia HRF 800. Let me see if I can give you guys a link. I'm adding a second one of these so that I can point it at other... It's going to be a roving camera, so to speak. That's the one I'm trying to tie the wireless setup to so that I can still stream with it via things like Bluetooth. Where is this? All right, so text, link coming to chat. There we go. So I wish you guys could see the desk here, but I'm going to go through each piece that I've got before we get to the M50 and explain it. So the Canon Vixia, perfect streaming camera. It's only $200. I am using a cam link, so that's another $100. Or I have a feeling stock is about to come in for Elgato sometime in the next 60 days. So why not OBS Mobile on your phone? I tried it. It didn't work well for me. It was too jittery, too shaky. Even on a tripod, even on with a camera mount and everything. Like if I hit that just right, the desk, right? The iPhone, what was it? iOS virtual camera or iOS camera plug-in in OBS. It looked like that all the time. I don't know why. I gave up on it pretty quickly as an option. But again, one of those, if you've got like an old 5S laying around that does 1080p and high frame rate, yeah, give it a shot. That's definitely an option. All right, so let's talk about my history with cameras. This is Big Bertha. This is a Nikon D7100. I bought it back in 2014 to be a shooter camera. This was also one of the first Nikons that adopted Canon's 23.97 or 24p for video. Nikon traditionally shot everything in 50 or 60 frames per second. So it does 24p, 30 frames, 50 frames, and 60 frames. 50 is used for PAL, I believe, in the UK. Jason, correct me if I'm wrong there. I've never used 50 in the US ever, so that's kind of a guess. I've heard that from somewhere before, that they use 50 for PAL. Anyway, this is a 18 to 300 millimeter baller-ass lens. It was more than the body of the camera. But it's got a magnificent zoom that I rarely ever use. It gives amazing bokeh when you've got it zoomed in like that. And it is fantastic for 18 millimeter wide shots. All of the Google Cloud videos you guys have seen me do, all of the videos on DatacenterDude with this backdrop have all been shot with this on a tripod. You think that's right because of the frequency electricity so you don't get flicker? Yeah, exactly. They also use it in filmmaking from time to time so that they can sync up and they don't get that VHS roll when you shoot a TV on video. The frames per second is different. So that's why you see the crazy scrolling bars constantly in movies when they do, or home video when they do that, I should say. So Big Bertha, the beauty of Big Bertha, yes, this is my affectionate name for her, is that very versatile, very modular, very lightweight. I love Nikon cameras. I want to be clear about that. As a camera, as a shooter, I think it shoots better than Canon. And you can also buy one of these attachments, which is a pistol grip, and you basically put that guy on there. I got to screw it on the right way. and you lock it into place, and then you can shoot portrait mode. You've got a little pistol grip, right? I love this camera so much. She and I have spent a very intimate 8 years together. 6 years together. I better know our anniversary. Big Bertha has done me well. In addition to, this is the one that I use mainly for shooting videos indoors. Of course, you have, when you buy one of these, normally it comes with what's known as a kit lens, right? I used this for about the first 6 months before I learned anything about cameras. This is what I learned on, and it hasn't come out of the bag since, but I still have it. This is a 55 to 200 millimeter kit lens. Also has a nice zoom on it. Shoots great bokeh from far away. Nowhere near the 18 to 300 AFS, but still really, really good, really solid kit lens for a starter lens. It just, because of what I'm about to show you, it just never comes out of my bag anymore. All right. Then we've got my babies. We've got two here that are important, and I'll explain why. 35 millimeter prime. When you hear people talk about shooting movies, they usually talk about it in 35 millimeter or 70 millimeter, right? So I shoot video, pure raw video with no lens effect with 35 millimeter. If you're shooting videos, it's the way to go. And you don't need a lot. You can get the prime. You can get it for under $200. And look at how small the camera, or how compact the camera becomes. Right? And even if I want to take the ring off, it's fine. But then that huge body of a camera, when I take the pistol grip off and when I take the cover off, the hood off, it becomes a really nice compact camera. So you've got a D7200? Nice, man. I never found a reason to upgrade. Why drop $1,200 on a new body when I didn't really need it? You're ostensibly naming this DatacenterDude Does Christmas Day Morning in May. All right, we can roll with that. And then, so 35 millimeter is my lens for video. My lens, so let me put that guy away. Let's pop him off. So I have my lens for video, and I have my lens for shooting. What you would call on your iPhone portrait mode. And that is a 1.8 50 millimeter prime, right? So again, roughly the same size. If you put it on there, I wish I could show you guys these. I wish Nikon was better about being a streaming webcam. But again, take the hood off. It's a little bit bigger than the 35. But still, roughly about the same size. It does do a very good job. You can see a live view. Let me take the lens cover off. So you do have a live view that you can see. Right, so when I'm shooting stuff with the 35, I can have a subject in the lens, and I can see everything that they're doing in the monitor back there. Pretty standard fare for cameras of the last 10 years, right? And I'm saying all of that for a reason, because I'm going to take it somewhere here in just a second. What if I wanted to stream with this? The one thing I forgot to mention about the RF800 video camera, flip out screen, and it'll flip upside down and rotate. So I can look at myself right here. I can see myself. The nifty 50. Attaboy. I opt for the 1.8 over the 1.4 because it's only $120, and the 1.4 is going to cost you about $500. And you're not going to get that much difference out of it. You can just move in closer or move away if you need to, as you need to, right? So there's Bertha. That's Big Bertha. Let me get this 50 off and put the proper lens back on. Really the only lens I use anymore, frankly. If I'm being completely honest. But this old girl was... now she's Big Bertha again. The modularity of lens packages is also... Really, it hasn't evolved that much in 40 years. Like, I can remember my dad's cameras in the 80s. Canon and Nikon stuff. All right. So let me put my quick release back on. Oh, we can do that later. So, what did I say earlier about the Canon R800? 1080p 60 frames per second, clean HDMI, flip out screen. So for everybody that asks me every day what camera should they get, I always tell them the Canon Vixia HRF 800 because of those 4 reasons. Everything else when you're streaming is pretty irrelevant, or meetings or anything like that. But just note you will need a cam link or some kind of capture, whether that's an ATEM if you've got one of those, whether it's an onboard capture card in your computer in a PCI slot, or a cam link. All a cam link is a capture card. You can just plug it straight into the PCIe version if you want. Big Bertha, Canon M50. The reason I've been after the Canon M50 for so long is because I wanted Big Bertha, but with one of these. .4K at 24p, Canon's 24p cinematic look, so even better than 60, right? Has a hot shoe mount, so you can put a light rig or a mic or whatever. If you want to put a little ring key light in a hot shoe, you can. If you don't want to drop $200 on Elgato key lights or some other knockoff thing on Amazon, get you a $25 hot shoe mount key light just to light your face. That's all you need. Look, I'll turn my edge lights off so you guys can see what a key light does. There. There are no lights on in the room except for the key light right now. And it's still got me lit the exact same way. Right? Takes the camera a second to adjust. But I'm lit the exact same way with the softbox lighting the backdrop, right? So if you wanted to get some kind of little hot shoe that you could mount on there for $20-25. So Canon, yes, I probably have to charge the hell out of this thing. But flip out screen and flip over so I can see myself while I'm doing videos, while I'm streaming, make sure that I'm framed correctly, all of that stuff. Because my lady's not around all the time. She can't always come in here and like set focus and white balance and ISO and all that stuff. I usually have to set that when I'm using my night, when I'm using Big Bertha. I've got this thing so dialed in on manual that she has to come and stand before I do a shoot. Or she has to come and sit in the chair so that I can dial the ISO, the f-stops, and the white balance in. And the focus, obviously. And frame the shot. This? Not anymore. And there's an app on your phone that you can get to control it. This was $499. And I'm assuming this is my kit lens. Yeah, looks like it. Good Lord, they wrapped it 3 times. It comes with a 15 to 25, I think. 15 to 45. So let's pop that guy on real quick. Nice. Mirror looks good. So there we go. 15 to 45 millimeter. I can't wait to play with this weekend. It also has clean HDMI, 4K 24, 1080p 60, and others. It's got a flip-out screen. And it's a perfect little shooter camera that fits in the palm of your hand. I can't hold Big Bertha like that. It's very lightweight. It also has, it looks like micro HDMI and a USB cable. In addition, one of the reasons I wanted to go with this was, Steven, I think you mentioned it earlier, it also has the new Canon webcam software where you can literally take a USB plug this in, and turn it into a webcam with a piece of software. It's still beta right now, but I'm aching to play with it and see what it looks like. Nice little camera. This little son of a bitch shoots 4K at 24 frames. So I was looking at this going, kit lens, 15 millimeter, I need something that's going to give me... So here's one of the downfalls of the Canon video camera. If I throw this up, forgive the screen being too big on the bottom. If I put this up, it chops me off. It's not wide enough, and it's not zoomed out enough to capture the whole frame of what you guys see when I go to this one, right? So I got another toy. $10 millimeter to 18 millimeter. This is going to do it. So now, effectively, I can stream with... I don't want to take this out of the box yet. It's a lens. You guys want to see the lens? Here's the lens. You know, I'll work with that guy later. Autofocus. Canon has great eye tracking. All of that. All right, man, y'all are chatty today. I'm way behind. Let me catch up reading while I take a drink real quick. Ninja, you went from a D50 to a D80 to a 7200. You're a Nikon guy. I'm a Nikon shooter, but Canon trumps it for video. And to prove that, for those of you that might not have seen the OG Big Bertha, this is OG Big Bertha. Before the Nikon. This is a Canon XH-A1. Shoots 1080p at 24 frames. Back before we really had HDMI. It has SDI sync on the side here, so if you're using it as a studio. I've actually thought about breaking this big son of a bitch out and trying to use it as a stream cam. I do have a wide angle lens for this guy too. It's in a bag in the closet somewhere. But I remember we used to shoot, you could shoot video with this. It has a little pop-out flip-up screen right here. And you could literally hold it by the hand grip right here, and just shoot video with it and watch it as you're tracking across your shot. You can just watch it right here. This is the reason I still have this. Anybody want to take a guess? I think I've said it here on the stream before, but I'll give you guys a chance to... Why do I still have this? Why do I insist on keeping this around? Does HDV mean anything to anybody? There's a hint. I'll give you another hint. Yeah, there is one in there. There's no power. The battery's dead. Tape. It's basically a deck. A deck for me. Tape deck. So I can take and plug in yep. I can plug in this to the USB and I can put HDV tape in and capture tape. And I've done it. Import tape into Final Cut, into DaVinci. I actually haven't done that in DaVinci yet, in Resolve. But it probably works the exact same way. The other cool thing about this camera that I really loved as a shooter in LA was that guy. So that's where, if you think about it, this is where your thumb sits most of the time. You've got your start-stop right there. You've got your zoom rocker right there. You've got a hot shoe for a field mic. Put a dead cat on it and you can shoot anything outside. But underneath here is also a player. So you can also, when you're shooting, you can push a little button here that says photo. And this was one of the big innovations from Canon. There's a little SD card in here and you can shoot still shots with this in high resolution. And it'll just store them to the SD card. Now, you can't film directly to the SD card, but you can. There are some candid photos out there that exist on Facebook way back 12, 13 years ago. 2007 would be when we shot a film with this thing last. They exist. They're out there. Yeah. That's OG Big Bertha. Well, I say old school, but it's what every Papo has in LA. That's the camera they're using, Vic. There's the XHA1 and XHZ1. Is it the Z1? I can't remember which one. There's a next model up of that camera that shoots to SD cards and has Wi-Fi upload capability and things like that. But that's the paparazzi camera. If you ever go to Sunset Boulevard, you see people out. That's what they're shooting with. Okay. What doesn't have a lens cap on it? Oh, they're for my Canon. Okay. What else is in the M50 box? We've got a battery. What else? Oh, God, there's so much wrapping. Battery charger, wall adapter. Nice. I still haven't been able to find a dummy battery for it that didn't have terrible, shitty reviews from China. Strap. Nice. The official Canon one is no longer produced for the M50. So if you're looking at an M50 and you're wanting to use it as a stream cam, you're going to need a dummy battery. So it won't be my stream cam until I have a dummy battery. For consistent power, etc. But yes, very, very excited to finally have a Canon M50. What else do we have to open? I think that's it for Christmas today. We're going to have some more next week when all the rack stuff gets here. Take 2 minutes, guys. Stretch your legs. I'm going to put all this stuff away, and we can come back and we're going to do some actual work. Make sure I know where all this stuff goes. This needs to go in that bag. One thing real quick. If you guys remember I was talking about getting a mic with a hot shoe? Highly recommend the Tascam TM2X. That's what it looks like. It is a stereo condenser mic. Does great picking up ambient sound, and it comes with, you can get a little dead cat windsock for it. So if you're outdoors, anything like that, it's got a little shock mount on it to absorb vibration. It's got a hot shoe mount with a screw right there that'll tighten it up, and plugs directly into your camera. Everything will be in sync. And you just pull the footage directly off your SD card. Highly, 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 highly recommend these. Or the other option is the more classic Rode with the shock mount. It's battery powered though. That's the one thing. You got to have a 9-volt battery. I hate that. But I've never picked up outdoor recordings better. Hot shoe mount to the top of your camera. Right? Plug directly into the camera. Call it a day. Flip a switch on for power pickup, additional gains. You've got a 0 up to 80 hertz low pass, high pass filter. All kinds of good stuff. So you can use this without a battery. It still will pick things up. But if you want the powered gain and the 80 hertz high pass filter, 9-volt battery. So just showing you guys some options here you can use if you want to do hot shoe mounted cameras for outside shooting and things like that. All right, stretch break while I clean the desk up here, guys. I got camera shit everywhere. Good problem to have. I'm getting to that point where I need one of those shelves where I put all of my lenses and cameras on them back behind me or something like that. That might be a new part of the studio. What settings do you have on manual for your Nikon? Oh, man. Vic, that's a whole stream in its own, man. We can rap about that offline if you want. It changes based on what I'm shooting. Mostly, the ISO will change and the white balance will change between indoor and outdoor. That's about it. F-stops maybe, depending on the ISO. But normally I just try to tailor the lens package to what I want to shoot instead of spending too much time futzing around with settings. All right, get our battery charging. That'll be good. Okay. Oh, one more thing. The music stop? Oh, YouTube. YouTube does a Netflix thing where it'll pause the videos. Are you still watching? Yes. Yes, I'm still watching. All right, so real quick, so you guys can see, I'm going to drop a picture in the Discord, probably under Pimp Your Office, that channel. No. Where is it? Pimp Your Office. There's your closet, Steven. You know what? It's not far off, man. It's not far off. That's funny. That's what we're working with. If you guys can see that in the Discord. Let me fix my screen here for a second. There we go. Why is my... Something's not showing up right. Okay. So, what was the other thing I wanted to work on today? I was making some notes. Yeah, if you guys can see that picture in the Discord, that's going to be the that's the closet. That's the disaster that we're working with. That's basically it's a lot of temporary runs between this computer and the switches that are over there. All that's going to get fixed. You guys don't want to watch me do long cable runs on stream, so I'm not going to bore you with that shit. What do people normally do to counteract lighting from monitors? Turn the brightness down. The one example I can give you is if I pull up a white screen, you can kind of see it light me up a little more. I've also got controls with the key lights. You're going to get, the better the camera also, the better it's going to auto-adjust that white balance. So if you're going to have bright monitors this close like this, leave your auto white balance turned on. And it'll adjust. Most of the cable that's on the floor, Ninja, is one 100-foot cable that I just haven't wound back up yet. And it's when I was setting up for... I was back in January. Yeah, it's been sitting there for 5 months. It was when I was setting up for the London Insight Plus live stream that we were doing from Insight there. I had a long cable run all the way out to the den, the loft, where I was setting up the mock studio for the London live stream, like the press booth I was doing. But I just dragged it all back in and threw it in there because I'm lazy. Yeah, turn the brightness down on the monitors. I can't not call you Tim Riggins. I hope you find that endearing because that's the way I mean it. But thank you, Taylor. Tim Riggins. I love Friday Night Lights. It's one of my all-time favorite TV shows. Are you showing your closet? I don't. Go to the Vic. Go to here. Let me put Discord up on the stream real quick. So when you're in Discord, you can see all the channels. Down here under Working From Home, there's a Pimp Your Office channel. Steven showed a picture to his as well. Sorry, Steven, for showing your closet on stream, but was unintentional. Got it. All right, cool. Oh, so there's oh, I'm doubling up. Now, that should be better. Okay. Motivation to clean it up. Yep. We don't need these packs anymore. You guys want to watch me slice my hand open live on stream? I have a lot of experience with box cutters. The precision I have with a box cutter to clean my fingernails, because I'm a redneck, right? That's what we do in the South. We use box cutters to clean our fingernails and everything from turn slicing wires and all that stuff. These fingertips are calloused. But I'm not without my scars from cutting myself either. What in the hell? It says open, but it's glued together. Trying to get these 256 gig cards out. So I'm one of the things that I've been wanting to do. I've got a pile 10 years of SD cards just everywhere. They're spread out all over the place. Why can I not get this son of a bitch open? Oh, that's what I see now. 256. This packaging is worse than CDs in 1991. Come on. All right. 512 gigs. If you had told 2001 Nick that was working with 1 gig 3.5-inch hard drives that one day we would have these things called SD cards and I'd be able to put 512 gigs in a camera because you have 2 slots. Like, I'm never going to have to take them out. They're just going to live in there. And it was less than $100. We were buying $500 1 gigabyte hard drives in 2001. Shit like that blows my mind. All right. Trash, trash, trash. But anyway, yes, I've been trying to find inspiration on a system to basically manage all of my SD cards. Meaning, some little pouch system, almost like a super kangaroo thing that I can hang on the wall and label, and which SD card goes with which. That idea came from, I saw a video of Linus Tech Tips. I love that you guys are sharing your studio pictures. That's funny. That's what that whole channel was for. show the before and after, right? So I definitely wanted to have it on record, a before picture, and then we can show you guys over the next couple of weeks as we build out the Data Center Dude's data center is what I'm calling it. We put all that stuff in there. We got the Synologies going. You guys can see them just sitting on the table, stacked up. There's a hotspot. There's 2 switches. There's my Eero routers. There's a drill, a DeWalt battery charger. And I really just want that table out of there. So the idea is you can see that there's a split right down the middle of that picture. And I want to try and put one rack on each side. Synology, switch, and just stack stuff up, right? We'll see. We'll see how well the first one goes in and go from there. All right, let me catch up on chat real quick. I wish somebody invented an SD card JBOD RAID array. You can imagine how many of those cards you could jam into one U with some creative wiring. The Raspberry Pi of storage arrays. They do make a Raspberry Pi attachment where you can put an SD card or an NVMe piece of NVMe M.2 form factor. There's no reason why you couldn't attach the same kind of... If somebody could innovate a ribbon, you can just let the ribbon hang out. Remember the old SCSI ribbon cables, the SCSI bus ribbon cables? You used to have to hook up drives in certain orders and pin them and all that stuff. I could certainly see somebody coming up with a long ribbon cable that was just a bunch of SD card readers. It's an idea. It's an idea. Retrofit one of those old SCSI ribbon cables for SD cards. Exactly. There's an app idea, right? Free to have that one if you guys want to go build stuff. Let me see what else we got to work on today. I've been trying to find... I think we're going to cut down to 2 days a week on the streams, by the way. I think we're going to do Monday, Friday. Here's why. I want to be able to take more time to make videos. I see there's 9 or 10 of you in here right now. I'd love for that to be 100. And I don't think... You don't grow when you're live, is the motto that I've come to understand. So I want to take the time to grow the channel. We're going to be doing more and more watch parties. We've got 3 of them that we're doing next month in June. We're going to be doing Cisco Live the first week, and then the week of the 15th, we're going to be doing SAP Sapphire and VMon in the same week. VMon is Wednesday, Thursday. SAP Sapphire is a Monday through Friday thing, but we're not going to be doing the whole week. Mostly just looking for the keynotes and things like that. So be aware of that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel here, and you got your notifications on. You'll get invites when I post those streams over the next few weeks. But those watch parties, the MS Build one couldn't have gone any better. It absolutely blew up. It's up to like 5,000 views now. It's one of the most searched videos for MS Build from a couple weeks ago. That's the goal, really. Look, all of this stuff that I'm doing is to bring the community back together. Starting up the Discord, starting up a new YouTube channel, doing the live streams. I miss the community, man. I miss all of you. Seriously. So I want to bring the whole group back together. We're all stuck in our houses probably till the end of this year. So let's find a virtual way to do this that's not effing Zoom meetings. Right? Let's try and... I love seeing all of you buying audio video gear and getting set up with your own live streams, making content and things like that. It's time to move on from blogs. I'm happy to come out and say that myself as someone who kind of made it on blogging. I don't want to blog anymore. I don't want to write blog posts anymore. I want to do videos and streaming and actual interactive content where I can show you guys. We can all geek out about cameras and friggin' rack mount shelves for an hour, right? I want to do watch parties where we all hang out together and we watch live streams of other conferences. It's about as close as we're going to get to being able to go to the Chieftain and have a beer after VMworld for a while. So I want to give us a place where we can all congregate and hang out from time to time, play video games together, all of that kind of stuff. Have happy hours, hangouts, watch parties, all kinds of stuff. Just a heads up, tomorrow in the Discord, I believe Steven here in the chat and Jeremiah Dooley are going to be in the Discord live streaming the SpaceX launch. So if you're interested in watching it with a group of people, you can get on comms and you can hear and talk to and even see each other and watch the launch together. If they get to do it this time. We've had a hurricane going over us here, so it's no surprise that it's been killed. As soon as we all joined vendors, we all kind of lost that whole community feel where we could all be more honest. It wasn't kind of, but not directly, Vic. It happens on accident. There's this weird line that gets drawn in the sand where you can only say the things that you think your vendor wants you to say. But that's not real. It's in our own heads. We think we have to do that. We're never directly told. We can't go out and say what we think. In fact, when you have those conversations, they encourage you to continue to build your own following because you bring street cred to them, and it's likely the big reason they hired you in the first effing place. So it's a believe me, it's a lesson I had to learn too. It's something I'm wise about now, and that I constantly coach people on that I see coming up. Don't think that you only have to tweet about your employer now, but just because you joined vendor XYZ. People are still doing it today, chugging the Kool-Aid, whether they believe in it or not. Exactly. Just be you. They hired you for you. Not because you look like a big bullhorn with legs. Be yourself. And if they don't like you, it's that simple. I've found so much peace in just being me. It's a huge weight that you can just shed. And here's the thing. I'm a NetApp employee. I love being a NetApp employee. I love working with NetApp social media and digital content creator platforms that they have and groups. But that's not all I can do. I'm allowed to do other stuff. I'm also given the privilege of being able to do this during the day, which is fantastic. But I want to be Nick first, not just Nick at NetApp. And one of the things that when I left in 2015, when I was let go in 2015, I mostly let go of the DatacenterDude brand because I feel like everybody associated that directly one-to-one with NetApp. And it wasn't until about 6 months ago that I just went, no, screw that. DatacenterDude is me. It's not NetApp. It's me. And it's just that it's the awakening and the epiphany that I had to have. So that's what I talk to people constantly that are going through this. And you like Nick at Night? Are you referring to Nick at Night playing video? I don't know if you've seen one of my late night streams. Me swearing at video games and vaping and beer drinking and... Do I have Twitch in here? Let's see if that works. I do. Yeah. So make sure you're following the Twitch channel too, because we'll be doing some of that tonight. Me and Dooley are probably going to play a bunch of Destiny. Yeah, click that link and then the little heart in the top for follow. It's kind of like subscribing to a YouTube channel. That way you'll get the notifications when I go live later. But it'll be great for you. It'll be 10 o'clock for me. It'll be about 7 for you. But yeah, we'll be playing Destiny tonight for a few hours. Full show. Any of you guys that play, Jump in the Discord. Me and Dooley are always in the voice chat, down in game chat. Come say hi. More than welcome. You know I'm going to push the envelope. All right. But I've normally got some metal jamming, cold drink. I try not to vape too much on stream, but it's better than sitting here smoking cigarettes. Anybody that talks down about vape, should kids be vaping? Hell no. But as someone that was a 30-year smoker, that was a godsend. I can carry you. Hey, Dooley's been carrying me, dude. Dooley's the rock star, not me. What time are we playing tonight? I've got to watch SmackDown from 8 to 10 Eastern, so it'll be 10:30-ish Eastern. Usually we go till 2 or 3 in the morning. So good 3-4 hours. But yeah, I'm playing so much catch up. He's got like 90,000 triumph points. We're at the point now where we're at the end of the expansion or the season, and we're going through the triumphs looking for lore pieces to hunt that we haven't uncovered yet. It's a good time. I don't know how you guys do V-Beers for that long, man. And do it. Bring everybody into the Discord and do them in Discord. You can all webcam now. Screw Zoom. You don't need Zooms. It's so much more fun and interactive in Discord now that they've got webcams support. And it's beautiful. And the more the merrier. Pass the word, too, guys. We're about to break 200 members. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but I want everybody to think about that. Think of the greater community that we have. It's only made up of about 500 people. Core people. If you trim away a lot of the excess. And really, there's only about 50 to 100 core community technologists across the vendor landscape. Think of like the original V-Experts from 10 years ago. That group. So to say that we've got 200 of them all concentrated in one environment, and I want 1,000. I want to get everybody in there, right? It's something that has been missing for so long. So long. And I'm so proud to see it grow every week. It's only been active for like a month, I think. Jason, when did we fire that thing up? April? Early April? Maybe 6 weeks? Almost 2 months now? The video has got hundreds of views. People are enjoying the story, why we started it and all of that. So, shout out to Jason and Dooley for helping me moderate that thing too, man. 6 to 8 weeks, yeah. What can we do today? What do I need to do today? Got about 30 minutes left. You call us old. I'm Frank the Tank. We're going streaking! Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank. Oh, man. All right. Let's look at some stuff. Is that blown up right? Yep. Let me close this stuff. So, Cisco Live. You know what we can do? We can make a banner graphic. I'll show you guys how I do my thumbnails and stuff like that now. I've learned, oh my God. If you haven't gone out and taken advantage of the Affinity Photo deal yet, you're fired. It's $25, guys. To have basically Photoshop. All right. So, what is that? Affinity is a graphics design company. They do Designer, which is kind of like Adobe Illustrator, Photo, which is like a Photoshop alternative. And during the pandemic, they've extended over and over 90-day free trials. And they're extending it all the way out till June. I think they did one final extension, right? Yeah, June 20th. 90 days. Plus 50% off. And $10 on iPad. Yep. Now, they've got Publisher down here, too, if you're doing into magazines or infographics and things like that. You can buy some of these other add-ons if you're into, like, drawing comic book and any kind of other stuff. Different brush packs, font bundles, all kinds of add-ons down here. They have a whole third-party ecosystem that is just awesome. Right? All kinds of stuff. But the core products, 150% you want Affinity Photo. Every single one of you that are doing any kind of content creation or need to do anything. And we're going to work in Affinity Photo here for a few minutes. And I'm going to show you how quickly I make some of this stuff. Designer is basically Affinity Photo, but with iconography. And you can create what are called artboards to do different dimensions and things like this. You got it this week? Awesome. So let me pop it open, and it's gonna look blank at first, right? It looks like Photoshop, but we're gonna load some stuff in. I need to find where. Let's see, DatacenterDude. Thumbnails? Did I put it in there? Oh, please tell me I saved that. Website, artwork, watch parties. There it is. Okay. So, you guys, if you join the watch party, I just had to find it. Data's disorganized. I'm waiting to get this stuff going. So you guys will see there's basically only 4 layers to this. I found the background. This is off online. And keep in mind, this is a 1280 by 720 YouTube thumbnail. So this is more the scale that you'll see it, right? So you'll see my little hand. I can just move it around, right? The whole thing. But if I grab my selection tool, or I can grab other little pieces, or I can grab my text, or I can grab myself that I snipped out, right? So, let me show you something real quick. Let me show you something. There we go. So back to normal, I think. It still says modified. I want to be careful. No. Let me grab the original again. All right. So what I want to do is I want to create a template of this for any watch party, right? Because it went over really well. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of the background specific, and I want to get rid of the logo. So now I've got a transparent image, right? That's going to give a little bit of branding and a little bit of consistency to the watch parties. Right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to file, save as, and I'm going to go to watch parties, and I'm going to name this one watch party template. And it's in the AF photo format, which is a lot like Photoshop's PSD format, right? So it gives you, it preserves the integrity of the layers and your modularity and be able to move it around, right? So close that, and now anytime I do a watch party, I can come in Come here. Come here. I can come in here and I can just do watch party template, open it up, right? And there we go. So now we need to do one for the Cisco Live that's coming up. So let's just go on a hunt. Cisco Live 2020 and images. Cisco 2020 logo. Let's see what they're using. Okay, so Cisco Live 2020. There's the logo that they're using. I really like that. It's not transparent though, but we can fix that. We can fix that really easily. I do like the darker background with this one though. That'll offset the white color in the playlist of the Microsoft Build ones from 2 weeks ago, right? They'll be right up next to it. So let's grab the darker one. Is this an official? Let's do Cisco brand assets. Brand center. Here we go. Another trick to know about you guys. Every company has a brand center or something like that. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Mixer, Microsoft, everybody. And here you can just find all of their stuff. Oh, apparently you might have to sign up. Sometimes you have to do this. Request permission to use. Nah. No, that's not what I wanted. I just want I'm looking for something. Maybe they've got stuff for Cisco Live, but they don't. That's what I wanted to check. I can absolutely get the logo, Cisco logo, but I want this logo. And I wanted to make sure it's their actual website, ciscolive.com. So if we go to it, yes. Here you go. So I want to use that, and I want to stay on their brand as well because I want to support them, right? So all of these kinds of decisions come into play when you're doing this stuff. So 1200 by 600, we're going to stretch it a little bit to get it in there. So copy image, and then I'm just going to go over to photo, and I'm going to paste it in, right? Kind of hideous at first, right? But what we're going to do is we're going to drag it to be 720 height. Completely covers it. Oh, I need to bring it down just a smidge. Nope, not yet. A little more. There we go. Now it's completely covering it. Now I'm going to come over here. You'll see that the layer is at the very top, right? So we want to make sure that that's at the very bottom, so that it's in priority order, right? And there we go. So now that's on top. Now what I need to do is make it a little bit bigger. You see me stretching it out. And then I'm just going to move it to the top a little bit more. But I have to make sure that I preserve the ability for it to cover up. What I could do is dropper. I could take this image, dropper the blue color they're using to find the hex, and make a shape tool, a backdrop, and that way I could move the text around wherever I wanted it. Might have to do that if this doesn't line up the right way. Yeah, that looks terrible. You always want to drag the corners to keep the perspective. Yeah, we're going to have to do that. So let's delete that. I'm going to go File, New from Clipboard. We're going to get a new one. And over here on the left, I'm going to grab the Selection Brush tool. I'm going to make it about, let's just start with 40, because this is a pretty easy one to cut out. And you'll see you get the little circle there. Just click. Oh, what's that? Select circles. Well, what if you start dragging? Just drag around. And as you get closer, you'll see it snap to the letters. This is one of my favorite things, guys. I'm not kidding. Watch it just snap to the letters. Can you guess what we're going to do after this? Anybody? This is so fun. Not the intended result. So what we can do is go to subtract. Did you see what happened there? So I hit delete, and it took a lot of stuff with it, right? So let's undo that. We still have our selection, but what we want to do is zoom in a little bit, and we're going to change the mode to subtract. We're going to take it down to about 10. And just click each of the letters, and you'll see the selection, right? There we get our exclamation. We'll get that. And it looks like everything else. All right, let's try this again. Oh, hang on. Did that go through? So if I do Control-C and Control-V. Oh, why is it still bringing that over? That should be white. And we should have the blue letters there. So why is it taking the whole thing out? That's interesting. Oh, yes, thank you. So it's taking out the... So I need to reset this. So I'm just going to hit escape, spam escape a few times, and we're going to start over. Try to be a little bit more detailed this time. So we want to add the selection. Let's just be a little bit more deliberate about each of the letters. And then we can increase the brush size. See how it's snapping to the letters like that and automatically doing it for you? I'm holding my left mouse key and just painting. All right, so there's the whole Cisco words. And then I just click inside the O, and that gets that. So we should be able to delete. Why is it doing that? It's not supposed to be doing that. I wonder if it's because it's deleting the whole thing. This was not this way before. I wonder if one of my settings changed somewhere. Layer. Yeah. Interesting. Let's grab the rest of the doc and... We'll have to see why that's doing that. There it goes. It all snapped. So now I've basically got everything selected. I should be left with the white lettered Cisco and the blue cursive live. Don't forget the dots. You always remind me. Thank you, Steven. Yeah, something's off. It's not letting me select anything else. Something's inverted. So this is, you can come in also, if you're doing this with a subject, an individual, like a person, you're going to have flyaway hairs and things like that. You can click that refine button that you saw me click, and you can come in here to refine your selection. adjustment brush background. And then you just paint along the edges. You see the red line there. And basically what it's going to do is sort of take a lot of the blur and pixelation away. So you're just painting along the outer edges. It doesn't matter if you go over it. It knows about the edges, but it's going to eliminate some of the blur. What I can't figure out though is why it's not properly removing the background from the selection, right? And you'll see it light up like that, so it's gonna blur it a little bit, and we'll make some adjustments when we get to it. Right? I forgot to do the middle of the E, so it should be taking that out. That's fine. Yeah, this is all fine, and then we'll go around that. Good. Do 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 do. There we go. And then we'll do the same thing over here. This will be a little easier for block letters. It's fine. For the record, I am not a graphic artist. I watched a lot of videos on YouTube and stayed at a Holiday Inn Express once. And I am by no means a pro at this. But I do learn really fast. So now now that you've got all of your refinement selections done, you can begin to do things like smoothing. And you can see it make the adjustments. Okay. See what I was doing there? You can adjust the borders of the refinement. So I want there to be a little bit of padding. Yeah, about like that. Okay. And then feathering. Can feather out some of the... Yep. Let me give it a new layer. That is not what I wanted. So something is inverted somewhere. It's doing the opposite of what it should be doing. It's doing it to the background, not the words. So what it did there, by the way, is you saw it unchecked the layer. You guys can't see that. Hang on one second. When I said post it, what to do with it, put it into a new layer, it unchecked my main layer and put it into a new layer. So if I uncheck that one and go back, I've still got my original image, right? That's the beauty of this. But something is happening here. I don't know why. It's doing some weird shit. I have to figure out why it's doing that. Selection brush tool. I'm going to add my selection, which I want to be the background. You know what? I think you're right, Steven. I think you might be right. I'm just making a stupid mistake. I had it backwards, didn't I? So let's do a little subtract. So we click refine, and I got to do this again. I apologize for you guys having to watch me do this, but I want to do the foreground. The only reason I'm having to do this is because I couldn't find a decently sized version of the logo, and I kind of want the flexibility to be able to style this a little bit better, sort of in my own vision. So bear with me here, guys. Steven just clued me into something that I was doing wrong. There's no precision to this, really. You can do it multiple times to clean it up. All we're doing right here is we're taking the jagged edge away from the selection. So we're going to do a little bit of feathering and refinement to round it out a little bit. Make it not look so jagged. So once I get everything selected, we can play with the sliders, and you'll see the magic start to happen. Thank you, Steven, for saving my butt there. I was being stupid. It's been a long week. All right, so there we go. And now we want to basically, this you kind of have to play with, right? You have to tinker with it to see how far it'll go. So you want to play with your border. I like about 13 to 15%, right? That's a bit much. It's actually a pretty good graphic, though. You don't really need that much. How about 3%? Let's try that. Smoothing. So you see when I crank the smoothing up, the red starts to bleed into the white like that over on the left. We don't want that. Let me put my camera back up there. There we go. We don't want that. So we got to find the spot, the sweet spot where it doesn't bleed into the white, and that's where you want it to be. And then we'll check the blue live letters as well. That looks good. So what is that? 13.9. I don't really see any bleed in the other one either. Okay, so that looks good. And so now if we do the feathering, we don't really want to feather it out too much. So we can a little bit. Let me, there we go. Selection, new layer. I'm not seeing any more bleed over. All right, let's try that. I can get on board with that. So what you can do, again, if we go back You can still refine it, right? If we take the border width completely down, you should be able to... Oh, we don't have anything selected. Good luck, Vic. Break a leg, man. Knock him dead, dude. Let me know how it turns out. But this we can work with because we're going to use the same color backdrop anyway. So, we've got the original somewhere. Let's go back new from... Oh, we've got it over here in this other layer. So, if I turn that on and off, right, it's just going to blend right in. So, because the background is all one color, couldn't you just use the color picker to create the selection and delete it that way? Yes and no. Kind of. You could do a mask... And then you could rasterize the mask to delete it if you wanted to. Sure. That's another way to go about it. I thought since we're using the same color, it's not really going to matter. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take... Let's go back to the main picture. I'm going to grab the shape tool. And we're just going to draw a shape. All right. If I do new from clipboard, does that come back? Yep. All right. So dropper. Where is my dropper tool? So the hex for that is that. So I'm going to go copy. And we'll just save that guy. So now my rectangle. I'm going to make it. Let's change it to, where's the hex? Right. And then what we're going to do is grab the cutout selection. And we'll paste that in there. Right. So now I've got... I can manipulate this one independently of the backdrop. That's kind of what that's just... It's quick, rough, and dirty. If I wanted to get more specific, I feel like... But I want to stay on their brand... They've got it all in line like that. I would probably take the Cisco and like lay it on top of the L right there a little bit so that they had sort of a stacking effect. But what I'm going to do, so let's take our rectangle. We'll pull that all the way down. Right? So everything else comes up. I'm going to take the, and we're going to make this, what is my... Make that the same color, right? So we can drop her that. I want to make this a little bit bigger. That's about right. And then I want to put a 2020 in there. So we just have to find we'll do a text tool. We'll just put 2020, right? That's not really the font I want to use. So I want to give it something like an italic look. I wish I knew what their Cisco font was here. Let's find something with a good italic. Any suggestions? Joker Man? No, that didn't work. Getting kind of tired of these songs, I'm going to be honest with you. 1 second. Let's play something else. Let's chill out a little bit. Where's Stream Beats? Oh, that's loud. I'm sorry. That's the wrong song anyway. Stream Beats. There we go. Come here. All right. Back to it. You know what? Anton looks all right. Anton is what I'm using down below. It's fine up here as well. So let's make it a little bit bigger. We'll center it right with virtual event. Make it a little bit, like sort of 3/4 the size of virtual event. And then we can adjust this guy. And let's make that white just like the Cisco. I kind of want to make that a little bigger now. This is kind of just what you have to play with. Or we could do something fun like kick it off to the side. All right. Let's add a little outer glow, I think would work. Probably white on that blue. Yep, that would work. So let's bring that up. I like that it gives it a cloudy kind of effect to it. That's pretty cool. It's a bit much though. I feel like it's a bit much. Yeah, I'm gonna nix that. All right, never mind. Let's make that a little bigger. I do like this idea of kicking the, or sort of offsetting the 2020 like that so I can make the actual logo bigger. Because that's gonna catch people's eyes. Because remember, it's only gonna be about that big on people's phones, right? So they have to be able to see what it is. All right. Yep. Can we go a little bit bigger? Yep. And then we'll put the 2020. Yeah, there we go. It doesn't have to be exotic or crazy graphic design stuff. So, and then you don't save it. Don't save this because this is your template, your watch party template. You export it as a PNG, 1280 by 720, which is the proper YouTube thumbnail size. We're going to export that and we're going to save it in artwork watch parties. And we'll call this one Cisco Live June 2020. All right. So we got that. And now the other thing I'll show you guys is how you do this in Studio. All right. And then we'll wrap it up. We'll be done. So in videos, you go to create and you do go live. We're live right now on YouTube, by the way. Right? You can see that right here. Is it going to let me create a new one? Yes. Okay. So here is the watch party for Microsoft Build. I don't remember which day was the 19th. So that was day 1. So let's choose that one. We'll reuse the settings, right? Because you want to be able to preserve a lot of the description and the title and things like that. And I really need to get around to making specific stuff for the watch parties. But anyway, artwork, watch parties, Cisco Live. We'll put that as the thumbnail. And we'll just change Microsoft Build to Cisco Live 2020 online event. Friends call you a live chat view of the 2-day virtual event. 2-day virtual event, Microsoft, or we'll change that to Cisco Live. And we'll take that out. I'll update that later. We'll change this to Cisco Live. Virtual event, watch party, good hashtags. Now what we need to go do is Cisco Live 2020 agenda. Joan Jett. Dave Matthews. What? Chainsmokers, Fallout Boy? Good Lord, is it 2003? What I'm looking for is the agenda. Digital experience. I've already registered. Stop telling me to register. I think it's going to be at 9 a.m. Pacific. If I had to event details. Here we go. Ah, look at that. I was right. 9 a.m. Pacific. So I'm going to put in, let's put in noon. That's on June 2nd. Did we have an actual agenda there? 9 to 3. So that's going to be 6 hours. So that would be noon to 6 on my time on June 2nd. But I only really want to watch the keynotes, so we don't need to go for 6 hours. Social impact. Show me the schedule. Schedule sessions. Day. Keynotes. Is it just the one? Okay, here's what we'll do. Well, all we need to schedule is a start time. So noon Eastern, which is actually a really great time because it's a great global timestamp. For all of you that do global stuff, if you're going to live stream, try to target noon Eastern because you get the folks in the mornings on the West Coast, you get the folks in the evening in GMT, and you get the folks the next morning or the next morning in Asia Pacific. It's a great time. And you believe me, yes, I looked into what would be best, all of that. 12 p.m. Why does it still say 3:10? Oh, because I'm still on Friday. So this is June 2nd. Wow, this is next Tuesday. I wanted to get all of this stuff staged for next week before we get out of here. So there we go. And so you guys could see how to do live streams in YouTube Studio. You can schedule them out. I've got all of my social handles and stuff in there. And the purpose of doing this early is because it populates on your channel. So once I save this, you guys will see when you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see upcoming live streams and a button you can click that says set reminder. And that's separate and independently controlled to what you got your notifications set to. So even if you've got all YouTube notifications turned off and you click that set reminder, you'll still get a notification for that individual video. So be aware of all of the mechanics of how a lot of that stuff works as you get into some of this. So I think we're good. Cisco Live 2020, Cisco Live Virtual Event Watch Party, day 1. And we'll see if we need to do a day 2. Again, a lot of this watch party stuff that I've been doing is experimental in nature. So now you'll see I've got a control room for whenever this event is ready to go live, right? And if I go back to the channel, why don't you see upcoming? Oh, because I'm live right now. It'll show you, because I'm live right now, it's going to show that at the very top of the channel, right? But after this is over, you'll see upcoming live streams at the very top, and it'll say, you'll see Cisco Live. What I can do, though, is go back to Studio, Videos, Live. This is another little hack to get it to be visible on your channel. Upcoming live streams. So you see upcoming there, right? Go back into the pencil, the settings, and set your playlist, right? Done. Save. Now if we go back to the channel, you're going to see it right there. Upcoming. Set reminder. That's what you want to do. That drives engagement. That lets people know what you've got upcoming. Over the next few days, you're going to see I'm going to do one of these for SAP Sapphire and VMon as well. So those will be our 3 shows, 3 watch parties we're going to do in June. So that was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys like watching me make stuff. I don't know. I don't ever know. The room goes quiet when I start making stuff or start doing stuff like that. So I never know how to judge whether or not you guys are into that kind of shit or not. But let me know, because I love doing it. I love talking myself through how I do something. Steven, you were there to kind of save my ass in a sort of absent-minded moment. Thank you for that. It's useful for you, Jason? Thank you. Good. I'm glad it helps. And again, stuff like that is what I want to make videos on in the future. I want to show exactly what I just showed here on stream. I want to show how to do that in a video, upcoming video. So once I get this whole place sorted out. Do we want to save the modified document? Which one is this? That's just the logo. No. And I don't want to save my template because I've got a logo in it now. So now if I open the template again, it's just the transparent image. And I think there's even a way to mark that as read-only so you can spin off a copy of it. You love it. It makes you relove the stuff I used to do a long time ago. Cool, man. Awesome. I got a bunch of video to shoot over the next couple of weeks as well. So I almost want to do some editing streams in Resolve so you guys can see some of that stuff as well. How I use plugins to manipulate the audio and make it boosted and sound better and more good compression and things like that. I'm so in 100% creative content mode right now. Probably will be for the rest of this year. I've got a roadmap of videos at least all the way through Q1 that's set. Q2 speculative, and then the other second half of the year. Like, there's so much content that I've got to crank out. Just a backlog of stuff. And it's a really good problem to have. One of the worst things is writer's block and not being able to know what to write when you know you need to put up a post this week. And I've got so much stuff to make at this point. But again, thank you guys very much for hanging out with me on a Friday. I will be back on Twitch tonight playing some Destiny with Dooley. Hopefully, if he's around, I'll have to double check with him. But I'll be playing either way nonetheless. I also did fire up World of Warcraft in the last 24 hours. And at the end of the expansion, the Battle for Azeroth expansion, data is starting to get mined on the PTR. New stuff from Shadowlands is being made available. And there's all kind of, I might even play some WoW tonight as well. Just run some dungeons and level some characters and hang out with you guys, listen to some music, drink some beers, have a good time. So definitely make sure you're following me on Twitch. If you're not already, I think most of you guys already are. But if you're up late or early, depending on where you are, I'll be playing some games later tonight. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed all the unboxing. More to do as the rest of the stuff gets here over the course of the next week. And then we're doing some IRL streams, right? I'm going to point the camera at the thing. We're just going to crank some music, and you guys can watch me tear the studio down and build some racks and put it in and elbow grease and sweat. We're going to rack mount some stuff. So that'll be a fun IRL stream that we can do. But enjoy your happy hours, enjoy your beer bashes, do them in Discord. Feel free to use the conference rooms in there. It also helps shepherd everybody into the Discord as well, by the way. So more than happy to host those, as many as you guys would like to do. And lastly, don't forget the launch party tomorrow. Steven Dooley's, I'm not sure if individuals that aren't mods can live stream into the channels. So Dooley's going to do it as well. But yeah, you guys can actually join the voice channel. I'm going to make a special SpaceX launch channel for you guys, and you can talk to each other while you're watching it. So bring everybody. Have one central place where you're all watching it together as if you're at Cape Canaveral watching a shuttle launch. So, I mean, it's that. I hate I'm going to miss it. I'm going to be streaming Busted Wide Open. We start at 3 o'clock Eastern. So when it didn't happen yesterday, I was like, damn it! So yeah, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, I think, is the launch window they're going for tomorrow. if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to double check that. But I had heard 3:30. I'm not sure if it's Eastern or Pacific. So I know SpaceX is in California. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks so much for hanging today. Hope you guys love the content. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys in Discord. But until Monday, have a great weekend.